Okay, so you know that incredibly soft T-shirt you love, the one you can't wait to put on.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe that warm and cozy sweater, the one you practically live in all winter.
Absolutely.
Have you ever stopped and thought about how it went from like a pile of cotton or even a sheep's fleece to something you actually wear every day?
It's a process. Most of us, we just kind of take it for granted, but it's actually pretty remarkable when you think about it.
Totally.
Turning raw materials, like sometimes even kind of messy natural fibers, into the yarn that makes up everything, Clothes, blankets,
And that's where we're diving in today, with the skilled workers who make all of that happen.
spinning textile technicians.
Spinning Textile Technicians, that's right. And this guide we have, it says this isn't just about pushing buttons on some massive machine.
No, no, no.
It's about, like, mastering this really intricate machinery.
It's very detail-oriented.
Can you imagine having to calibrate the tension of, like, dozens of these tiny threads
Yeah.
all at once and making sure each one feeds into a machine perfectly?
And then you have to know what you're doing if something breaks, like a yarn breakage, because even a tiny little variation in the fiber length can throw the whole thing off.
Wow.
You need a good eye for detail.
Yeah.
Problem solving is a big part of it. You have to really understand how those machines work.
It's incredible. Like, when you really think about it, how much precision goes into something that most of us just totally overlook.
Right.
And the guide goes into a lot of detail about the actual spinning process.
Yeah.
Which is basically taking these like super tiny fibers.
Yeah, and then twisting them together, almost like braiding hair, to make a continuous, strong yarn.
And that process requires both technology and human skill.
Yeah, it's really about maintaining that link, that crucial link in the chain from the raw material to that finished textile.
Okay, so we're not just talking about somebody working alone in a factory.
Right. No, they're part of a team: textile engineers, production managers, quality control specialists. Communication is a really big part of the job.
Of course. Makes sense. The guide also talked about the actual work environment. And it sounds kind of intense. A lot of machinery, different materials. You've got the sounds of the spinning machines going.
Yeah, it's definitely not a quiet office setting.
Not at all.
Can be physically demanding too. You're on your feet a lot, but there's a certain energy to it. I think there's a lot of satisfaction that comes from being part of a process that's, making something real.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like being a spinning textile technician, it takes this unique blend of being technical, but also having that attention to detail.
Definitely.
And being able to be okay in a busy, hands-on kind of setting.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, it sounds like a lot, right? A lot goes into being a spinning textile technician. But it's got to come with some serious perks too, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, first of all, this is a career that is always going to be in demand.
It's a good point.
Like, no matter what's happening, right? The textile industry is always evolving, always changing. But you need skilled technicians who can keep those threads spinning,
Yeah. I like that. Job security's like woven right in. And this guide, it actually talks about how much variety there is in the job.
Yeah.
It's not just cotton, is it?
No, no.
What else is there?
Oh my gosh, think about all the different kinds of fabrics out there.
So many.
Silk, wool, synthetics, blends, and spinning textile technician, you could be working with any of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you're always on your toes, constantly learning, adapting to different material, different technology.
Exactly. And that plays right into the career growth potential.
Yeah.
The more experience you get, the more different machines and materials you work with, you could move into, supervisory roles. You could specialize in a very specific type of textile production. There's a lot of different avenues you can go down.
So we've got demand, variety, room to grow. But this guide does not sugarcoat things. It's definitely physically demanding. And I imagine some people might find it, a little repetitive. How would someone even know if this is the right kind of career for them?
I think, honestly, it comes down to, do you like to work with your hands?
Yeah.
Do you get satisfaction out of seeing, a real result, a product, something tangible? And can you handle the pace of a manufacturing setting?
Yeah.
You have to really focus, ensure the quality's good.
Yeah. You're trading in like a desk job to be in the thick of it. You're part of a team that's like actually building something.
Yeah.
But okay, so this sounds amazing to someone. This sounds like it's for them. It's a very specialized role. How do you even begin to go about finding the right job? I mean, that's where RoleCatcher comes in, right?
It does. And that's What I find really great about RoleCatcher is that it takes a lot of that guesswork out of the job search.
Okay.
Like their jobs module, for example.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't just pull up a list of every job posting,
Yeah.
It uses AI to go through those descriptions and figure out exactly what skills employers want.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So you're not just sending out a resume into the void.
exactly.
You can really emphasize the exact experience, the skills that they're looking for.
Exactly. And that is huge, I think, especially now.
Totally. And it's not even just about finding the right jobs, right? Because RoleCatcher, they also have this tool. It's called the CV Builder, or the Resume Builder.
Right. Yeah, it's really helpful nowadays because a lot of times you have to get past like a computer program before your resume even gets to a real person.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And the AI stuff that RoleCatcher uses, it helps you make your resume the best it can be, both for the computers, but then also for the humans who are actually making the decisions about who to interview.
So you're really upping your chances of even getting noticed in the first place.
Exactly.
And then, of course, there's the interview. And that's like a whole other thing.
Oh, yeah, it can be nerve-wracking.
It can be so nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
But RoleCatcher, they even have a tool for that, the interview prep tool and the guide.
Yeah.
It talked about how helpful it is, what makes it so great.
Well, they have this massive collection of practice questions. And it's not just random questions. They're all tailored for specific roles. So, like, let's say you're applying to be a spinning textile technician. They'll have a bunch of questions that are likely to come up in an interview for that exact type of job.
Oh, that's smart.
And the best part is you can practice your answers, you get comfortable talking about your experience, and you can even get feedback on like your delivery, how you're presenting yourself.
It's like having a mock interview with like an expert in the field who knows exactly what they're looking for. That's incredible. And then the guide, it mentioned something called the Career Compass. What is that all about?
Yeah, so the Career Compass, I always think of it as like the what's next tool. It helps you look at different career paths in textiles. So, maybe you start as a spinning textile technician, but then you realize, wow, I'm really fascinated by sustainable textile.
Right.
Or you decide, actually, I want to move into more of a management position.
Right.
The Career Compass, it shows you those different paths, what's out there.
Oh, that's so helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. It's been a lot of information about this one career path.
Yeah.
But if our listeners are walking away from this, what's like the key stuff you really want them to remember?
Well, I think the biggest thing is if you like working with your hands, if you're someone who gets excited about taking something and creating something real, something tangible,
Yeah.
and if you like the idea of being detail-oriented, having to be really precise, then being a spinning textile technician is definitely a career path to look into.
It sounds like it.
And then the other thing I'd say is don't forget about the tools that are out there to help you. RoleCatcher, like we've been talking about, it can be a game changer.
Absolutely. It takes so much the stress and the mystery out of it.
Yeah.
And, at the beginning, we were talking about those textiles that we love.
Mm-hmm.
The T-shirts, the sweaters, everything. What if you could be the one who uses these technical skills to design the next generation of those fabrics?
Right.
Something to think about. That's all the time we have today. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of spinning textile technicians.
It was great being here.
Be sure to check out the resources that we mentioned, and we'll see you next time.